mean towards the middle class, so mean towards the common man. They got us running on this treadmill 24 hours a day, trying to keep up with the Joneses. One of the evils that I default this country with for going downhill is America's need for keeping up with the Joneses. The Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous was a bad program. It told everybody that what you have is not good enough. You need more. You need more. Consumerism is actually causing our country to go down. Okay, I said my piece. Hopefully you'll say yours. You know, one of the things that I am so proud of all the help that I have found here at KRXA. At first I thought I was going to go about it by myself, but boy, what a wonderful group of caring individuals on this side of the mic and the other. You know, it looks like I have a caller here. Let's see if I can do this. I think I'm going to be able to do it. Caller, you are on KRXA. We have a number of questions. Is this Richard? Okay, how you doing there? That's right. I should have wrote it down. I couldn't think about it, and I know you're talking. He was the main reason for one of the reasons this country is going down, trying to keep up with the Joneses. He was an Englishman. That's correct. But he had that English accent. Yeah, yeah. What do you mean by that? Yeah. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? For a $50,000 home that cost to build that much, $50,000, they want $1 million for it now, man. Agreed. Yeah, I'm telling you, you're running around on that treadmill quicker and quicker, and now you gotta have 2 hamsters on the treadmill. That's not right, man. Oh man, now the way you messing with my friend, she's right, she's right. Oh, what? Well, that was she. But you know, let me tell you something else that she told me. She said she wanted to talk to you, and she was upset that I cut you off. She says, Chris, I wanted to talk to him because he has a lot of good points, but I think with cistern, so the cisterns you were talking about. That's my fault, Butcher. Hey, that's my fault, man. That's my fault. But let me tell you something there, my man. What I appreciate she did, if she didn't step in, the old guard would have took over. And that guy that they got in there now, Mancini, hey, look, I'm mad at myself. I should have stepped up. She stepped up out of 35,000 people in my town. She was the only one. So, you know what? I had a chance to talk to her, and we spent about at least 7 hours talking about this subject. She was a little nervous. She's a little microphone shy. I talked to her. When I talked to her off mic, yeah. Well, yeah. Hey, Robin Leach, that's his name. Rich and the Famous. Yeah. and then it's because of that it's because of those reasons like Robin Leach that this country has gone in a direction that I wish it had not gone. Hey, but you know what? I didn't. Hey, yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yeah. Yes, then you got some points there. You know, Butcher, you and I are doing something by voicing our opinions. Huh? Hey, you know, you know what, man? I got to give him. Me and Hal go through some. Man, we go through some knockout, drag out arguments. But you know what? I got to give the man credit for. He has the progressiveness in mind. I said maybe we have all directions that we want this progressivism to go, but we all got to stick together, even if we. Well, oh, he's talking. I got to defend him, even though he doesn't have a good jump shot, even though he's. Oh yeah. Oh why? Hey, you know what? You know what? He doesn't know the name of his own show sometimes. Hey, but we got somebody on the line here. Anytime, my man. Anytime. You know what? We have an opportunity now for me to interview who I would consider one of the great announcers in radio. I have this opportunity. He's going to look out for me. He's going to look out for you. And his name is Casey. How you doing today, Casey? Excuse my tongue tightness.
Well, I'm doing great, and thanks for having me on the show, Chris. This is awesome.
Thanks.
I'm real proud of you.
Well, it's a two-way street. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
It is. That's why traffic is moving a little smoother, we hope.
That's
We're
right.
figuring it out, try to get through some green lights. And first of all, happy Easter to everybody.
Yes.
And thanks for being tuned into our station. I liked what you came up with. Small station, big ambitions, Chris. That's pretty good.
That's real.
In fact, that was so good I had to write it on the board up there, as you can see.
You sure did. And what you also did, you wrote it in a couple of different colors, and you got it in all capital letters.
Well,
why'd you do that?
Well, that's funny you ask, because a lot of times when I'm at a board like that, what we're referring to is a whiteboard that hangs outside our studio. And when I was coming up, we always had a board like that in a radio studio, so you could just, dry erase and put up messages that you wanted your jocks to know.
Yes.
And so what I did was I said, well, let's and fast forward to my football career, we always work at a whiteboard or a board like that when we're drawing up plays or trying to get messages across to our players. So it's just kind of common for me to do that. And oftentimes, as you can see in the mornings, I'll just put my sponsors up there. I'll put up weather and all sorts of things instead of having the papers, that I have. So
I
to
see.
me, it's just, and it's always, I'm not going to lose that piece of paper.
Yeah.
I'm not going to walk around with that board or anything. So that's why I write it up there. And when I hear something that catches my ear, like you said, small station, big ambitions, I said, yeah, man, that's pretty good. So that's why I do that long story about the whiteboard.
Well, that's a very good explanation.
And the colors, it's interesting because when you play football, one of the things, it can get kind of complicated, because there's all these different guys that can touch the ball. So one of the ways that I taught myself when I was first becoming a college football coach, I had to learn all these different pass routes and all this stuff. Instead of X, Z, slot, Y, I gave them colors.
Okay.
So my X was red, my Z was blue, and so on and so on. And then it worked so well for me when I started coaching at Herm Edwards Camp. I used to be known as the coach with colors. So I would just draw on the play and I'd say, okay, who's blue, who's orange, who's green, who's red, and then here's what you do on this play. Instead of trying to say, okay, you're this guy here and you're a guy, So it's funny, through the course of the time, more and more people, or coaches, I guess, out at that camp, they're bringing the colors with them. So it's pretty, to me, it's an effective way of doing it. And yeah, so that's it.
Well, not only effective, Coach, but simple and to the point.
Hey,
concise and great explanation. And
that's kind of my philosophy. I got to, literally dumb it down in order for me to understand it.
Yes.
First of all,
Common
that's how I
denominator.
break stuff down.
The common denominator.
Sat in the slow row in school. That's before anybody was hearing about, taking the short bus to go to special education. I'm serious.
Okay.
So, and I'm kind of what is referred to as somebody who's autodidactic. Good word. It's self-taught.
Okay.
In my case, so I just, even though the school bell rang many years ago, I never stopped learning.
Well, what actually got you to this point of wanting to coach? Because it's, I don't know if I can say this, but not only coaching of sports, coach, but it's also the coaching of people, the coaching
Right.
of me. You're just great at that. Wow.
Well, thank you. It's funny you say that because it was through coaching sports that I found out that I could help coach others as well in other things. And about 5 years ago, when I first started working here with Hal, I had a chance to help people who were doing just exactly what you're doing, working here on the weekends.
Yes.
And it was a chance for me to literally coach them up. And you will attest to this. When that board out there was standing, I would have you sit and I would be at the board, right?
That's true.
Working, and that's how we communicate, or at least I do. And so what I found was I could take that, and it's not a competitive thing in terms of being here now. It's a creative thing, and it's a different mindset, but the same fundamentals apply in terms of wanting to recognize somebody's passion. Normally I'll work with a young guy who wants to hopefully go from our area to a bigger college and have his college education paid for,
Yes.
thanks to his football skill. So in other words, get a scholarship and advance himself academically, hopefully. But in this case, it's totally different.
Yes.
Here, somebody like yourself, one of my top shining stars, I guess, out of Coach's Broadcasting Academy.
I don't know about that.
Is Sheila Gale.
Okay, I thought you were talking about me.
Well, I'm getting to you, Mister. You've been listening to
Hey,
Hal a little
hey,
too
hey,
much.
hey, because let me turn down my own. Let me turn off my own mic here. I'm sorry.
That's
Go
pretty
right.
good. No.
Go right.
But that she was somebody. In fact, I heard Chad does physical strength in the mornings at 9:30. He's a guy who many years ago, he and his father-in-law were getting together, and they had a show. They owned the liquor store over there in Pacific Grove, and they thought, hey, what a great way, we'll talk about wine and this and that, and I helped them get started. So, and Billy Sunshine, I helped him. He was doing
Oh,
a show
wow.
for a while here.
Yes.
So it's something. If I have the passion to help somebody with something I'm good at, I don't know. I just have this tendency to want to encourage, try to help, and in other words, coach you. And I guess that's a result of I've had some good coaches or leaders along the way who've helped me. So, and I get a kick out of it. It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun, Coach. But also, there's another thing that I bet you get out of it is the reward. So somebody comes back and say, hey, thanks, because I'm always. You're not going to say this in public, but I'm thanking this man every other time. Hey, thank you, Coach, for this.
Well,
but
I want to thank you.
It's a really appreciative process.
Well, here's
that we
what I
all go
appreciate,
through.
and this goes down to King City, and this is a guy who picked up on this early on.
Yeah.
The old guy who wear the funny pants to the. I'm having a dentist moment.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. Very, very strong call.
But he always recognized my passion, and that's one thing that I would always ask the people. And I heard you earlier mention about the wonderful time we had a week ago yesterday at the Hellers.
Yes.
And that was passion that brought us
Sure
all
was.
together.
Okay.
There's a passion that's out there for what we're doing for this station, for having the ability to sit here and rap like we are on an Easter Sunday. And,
Yes.
so, and that's something that I love being a part of. And then that passion, well, I love being on the radio. Trust me, man, I came down to this area in 1992, fortunate enough to be part of a morning show that back in those days, you could make a great living at, and it was the best time I ever had. And it was because I was on the radio making an impact. Now, we were playing all sorts of different, music, the programming, of course, different back then, but for me, it showed I could do this right now. Sit in a closet, talk on the microphone,
Yes.
have an effect on folks like yourself and others that are listening, and getting roundabout way, getting back to you, I heard you calling. I never met you before, and I just would hear this Chris from Seaside calling in to Hal's show.
Yeah.
And I just was so encouraged and literally excited about the passion that you had.
Well,
And that's why when and the day you called in to challenge Hal about the lack of color on the airwaves here,
yes.
I said, man, why the hell can't we help Chris get a show? So that kind of was the kernel of the idea inside that microwave bag popcorn that I love so much. I got to get me a microwave popcorn sponsor. But no, and then you and I met, and we obviously hit it off. We had that connection, sports, like working in the community, working with kids.
Giving back.
Also giving back. So that's kind of what I'm into now. I figured out a long time ago that I never wanted to live anywhere else in the Monterey Peninsula.
Well, that was a good figure.
It
and
really was, and it's funny because when I was a kid, I used to grow up and I'd watch the Crosby, they called it back then, with my dad, and I'd never seen anything more beautiful than this thing called a blimp, would show the aerial shots of the whole coast along Pebble Beach and Carmel. And then I got here, I was completely blessed, and figured out, and I'd been away a few times, but I always come back here. And well, we felt it, you and I, and what we felt in terms of the appreciation and the friendship at the Hellers party.
Yes.
That's pretty much what I have a chance to experience almost every day.
I can see it in your face, Coach. I can see the appreciation.
That's makeup, Chris.
That's-
Sorry.
It's made up one of
That
good
might be
reasons.
my mascara.
I'm going to give
I
another
apologize.
secret out here. Every time I come to this station, Coach is in there. He's in there doing some work. He's in there researching his program. And you told me one time, Coach, preparation,
Yep.
conciseness,
Well, yeah.
and also compassion.
Yeah, those
And
are important. But,
Those are very important.
They
What
really
else?
are.
What else, Coach?
well, that's it. And one of the things I try to be is clear, concise,
Yes.
correct.
Okay.
And the best advice I ever got came courtesy of a legendary disc jockey in our business. His name is Scott Shannon, and I met him at a one of these morning show. All these funny guys get together and try to steal each other's bits. And he said, preparation, concentration, moderation. So that's I love to prep, and I've got stuff that I didn't even get to weeks ago for my show. I'm going to try to get to later.
Let me tell you, this young man sitting next to me is very prepared. He's always getting on me about my electronic devices, Chris.
Yeah.
You gotta.
I
you
see
gotta write
notes,
that.
so look at you with it. And
I
you're a
got
good-
5 or 6 things here in
Hey,
front of
man.
me, and I'm still.
You are a great player because that's the stuff I use. I use those little cards,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And then you rip them out when you need them, and
Exactly.
and that's what excites me when I work. And the other person I kind of helped get going was Linda,
That's
our
right.
astrology team. And may I just jump in and express my condolences
Yes, thank
to
you.
Linda,
Thank you for reminding us.
her Nick's grandmother. Nick is Linda's husband.
Yes.
He's in 540 Friends, by the way, on Facebook. That's how I found out about this.
Me too.
We will not have a live Linda show tonight, Astrology with T, so we'll be playing the best of. And again, our condolences. Chris joins me, and I'm sure everyone else, for the passing of Nick's grandmother.
The best to you, Nick. A great guy, great
Yeah.
woman. We're
Really,
all,
yeah.
You know, Coach, looks like we have a caller here. Do you
Yeah,
mind?
man, the phones are lighting up at 899-5792. It's
Yes,
AM
they are.
540 KRXA Conversations with Chris.
And we got Coach in the studio too. Hello,
Great to be here.
hello, caller.
And you're doing a heck of a job working the buttons, my
well,
friend.
Well, no. Let me before we get the call. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I always need Coach here, so let's
All
get
right.
that. Okay. Yes, caller. How are you today? Hey, Arlen. how you
Hey,
doing?
is that the mayor? I love it.
Yes.
You're darn right I
Yes,
am,
yes.
Arlen. If you're serious, we are going to get you elected to the mayor of Delray Oaks. It's Arlen Grossman.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Well, I like your, hey, okay. I was going to say let's get a couple of first downs, but let's go for the touchdown early. I
That's
like your
it.
style
That's
there,
it.
Arlen.
Hey, Arlen. Hey, Arlen, I remember you mentioning that this is the first time in Congress that there's not somebody that has a name like you, or... Okay. No, Arlen, that's how come we're going like the way we're going. Hey,
We need another Arlen,
We need-
badly.
what... Okay, okay.
Yep. Arlen, it's
Okay.
not too late to get in shape. That's what I say.
That's it.
But I gotta admit, I didn't really have a chance to listen in the afternoon, so I apologize for that. But didn't I mention to you that I think you would be an outstanding host for a talk show? Yeah. Yeah. We got to get you a sponsor, my friend.
Yes.
And I think we should make that a weekly feature. I got some ideas for you. Send me an email, 540friend or you got my email address. But I'm serious, because you got a lot of talent, you got a lot of passion. You could bring your message to a lot more people. I think we could work together to make that happen. Eventually, maybe. What the hell are you waiting for? Don't you think we? Aren't we in enough trouble, Arlen? You're gonna wait till the fourth quarter to try to pull it out?
We are.
Come on, man.
We don't have.
Hey, it's
Arlen.
Easter Sunday. Okay, we've made our halftime adjustments early.
Yes.
Let's start off fresh in the new year. Let's go.
We got to get more Arlens in. Hey, Arlen, how was Corral? Got your money's worth. Yes.
Now, who was? I wanted. Yeah, I heard about that. I saw it on Facebook at 540 Friend. Who was the audience? Tell us what that was like. How many were there? What was the general? Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's good.
So, but all listeners of Corel. Yeah.
Good.
Nice. That's great.
That's great, Arlen.
Well, I'm glad you called in, Arlen, and I'm
Yes.
expecting you to run for mayor of Delray Oaks. I'd like to see the KRXA machine in action.
That's right. Well, we need some more Arlens in the Senate. That's
Remember,
what
I'm only a junior college coach, Arlen. I got to start small. Hey, I'm sure appreciate you listening to the station.
Thanks a lot, Arlen. Let's get another call. Let me put
It
some.
gives me hope. All
Okay.
right, all the best to Arlen.
Yes, hello, KRXA 899-5792. Conversation with Chris and Casey, coach in the house. How are you? Who are we talking to? Uh-oh.
There he is.
I was waiting for this call, and here it is. Here it is. The Mr. Sunshine, Billy Sunshine, our illustrious leader,
Yep.
is on the phone with us today, Coach. What do you think?
How are you, Billy?